Hello everyone, welcome back to Azur Archives. Previously, we delved into Fallen Wings, introducing us to our first Mesa and Helena. One of those will be returning today, as we cover Winter's Crown, the first Royal Navy Major, which takes place not far after Fallen Wings, only separated by ink-stained seal Sakura and the French. So with that, we begin. A fleet comprised of Belfast, Sheffield and Norfolk meet with Aurora. They have been escorting a convoy headed to the Northern Parliament containing supplies and aid in their fight against the Crimson Axis. Sheffield is suspicious of Aurora. Despite their newly formed alliance, she doesn't trust the Northern Parliament. As they leave, Belfast orders everyone to stay vigilant. Their intel informs them of a chance of siren encounter on the way home. Their intel was right on the money, finding a siren fleet dead ahead. Norfolk notes that they had never encountered these types of enemies before, and Belfast surmises that these are the upgraded models the Eagle Union had told them about. In convoy en route, and the sirens indiscriminately firing on any passing ship, the fleet moves in to mop up the threat. The sirens dealt with, they begin to move on, but Sheffield is interrupted by an urgent transmission. The second convoy is being attacked by Ironblood. The message informs them that the convoy is being attacked by one of the Ugly Sisters, and Norfolk is unsure if 3 cruisers and a pair of destroyers are enough to settle things with a battle cruiser. Belfast reassures her that HQ has taken care of it. Duke of York is en route, so they will just need to hunt her down and stall until she arrives. The two parties meet, and after some brief banter between Scharnhorst and Belfast, they begin to fight. As the battle rages on, Scharnhorst turns to retreat. Unfortunately, Norfolk has been hit in both her radar and engines, and Sheffield is having engine problems of her own, so Belfast gives chase by herself. Believing that this is a bluff and that Sharn will swing back around to attack the convoy soon. Her intuition is correct, and the two face off once more, Belfast prepared to fight tooth and nail to the last. Sharn respects that and fights with her all as well, gaining the upper hand but not without taking a hit to her radar. Scharnhorst is about to finish Belfast off, but before she can do that, she is interrupted by a hit to her front turret courtesy of Duke of York. Duke orders the destroyers to protect Belfast as they make their retreat, before introducing herself and engaging Scharnhorst in a duel. Sharn intends to fight until the last shell. Unfortunately, she doesn't make it that far, sinking at the hands of Duke of York. As she sinks, she reflects on her life, all the trouble she and her sister had caused in the North Sea, the title they'd earned for it, and all the times they'd managed to escape danger. But this time it had caught up with her. Duke gives a eulogy for her fallen foe, hopes that her fellow countrywoman would fight as valiantly as she did, should they too find themselves up against a superior foe. Tester confirms the loss of Scharnhorst's signal. An observer observes that, much like with the Z-destroyers, giving her more power didn't change the outcome. Something has caught her interest. The second convoy was sunk by planes. However, with Ironblood's current strength, they shouldn't be able to launch an air attack. This confuses her. The observer notes that according to the script, the Royal Navy should be conducting a large air attack, and elects to observe more closely, leaving the North Sea in the hands of a new face, Purifier, telling her she already knows what to do if she shows up. Victorious rendezvous with Duke of York. The two make small talk, with Victorious nerding out over some planes she brought over from the Eagle Union. Getting back on track, Victorious's scout planes find their target, a certain lone queen of the north, and begin preparations for Operation Tungsten. The preparations are interrupted by a strange phenomena, as if the ocean is being sucked into the sky. Purifier finds it an interesting choice to open a singularity here. Duke of York asks if this is her doing, but she denies. York fires on her anyway. The Royal Navy Task Force regroup and contact HQ to update them on the situation and for further orders, but communications are jammed, much like in a Mirror Sea. Despite the damage to the fleet, they are still in fighting shape and proceed onwards, paying Tirpitz a visit. Meanwhile, Purifier is confused. A singularity this large has been opened, yet its creator is nowhere to be found. She expresses disappointment over not meeting her and updates Observer on the situation. Victorious meets Tirpitz and introduces herself. She shares that Tirpitz is rather famous, even on the other side of the world, and is particularly excited to test some 1600-pound AP bombs that she picked up over there. The two engage, and Tirpitz, despite her taunting, is hit hard. Victorious offers her a chance to surrender, but Tirpitz refuses, choosing to fight until the end, to Victorious's ire. She draws a comparison to Tirpitz's sister, and Tirpitz thanks her. To an Ironblood battleship, nothing is more tragic than leaving one's fate in the hands of others, and achieving nothing, being forgotten. She is grateful that her sister held true to her beliefs, even in defeat, and that Victorious is here to give her one final chance to fire her guns. If she must trade her life for an honourable last battle, she is fine with this. Victorious is stumped. She had offered Tirpitz a chance to go on living and was refused. So stumped that she turns round and leaves, believing the honour and glory of felling Tirpitz this way is worth nothing, arguing to Duke of York that the operation has failed. Tirpitz is heavily damaged but still alive. Tirpitz doubts they will meet again, but wonders how far Victorious's compassion will get her. She hopes to one day find out. The operation is ended early due to safety concerns stemming from siren intervention. As they prepare to return, Victorious receives an alert that they've engaged enemy fighters coming from the direction of the Singularity. Duke of York orders a change of plans. The task force is to investigate the area and prepare for siren attack. As she does, she notices the shape of the Singularity resembles a crown. At the Singularity, Purifier confronts its source, Code G, and interrogates her intentions, but G is not in a cooperative mood. Purifier has ran the calcs. If the Singularity were to collapse, it would level half the Northern Parliament and really mess with their plan. But G still isn't working with her, and Purifier begins to make a more kinetic argument before being interrupted by the arrival of Victorious and Duke of York, who begin firing on the siren. In the chaos, Victorious notices Empress Surprise Meta's unidentified signal and sends a wave of Corsairs to attack. Code G responds in kind, shooting them down with her own. She recognises Victorious and tells Purifier to stop dragging uninvolved people into their experiments. Before she leaves, G expresses gratitude at getting to see Victorious again, and informs her that in the future she was an outstanding warrior. As thanks for the assistance with Code G, Purifier picks a fight with the two. Reminding them that the sirens are the cause of all conflict in the world, Purifier is struck down, and things begin to return to normal. Duke of York compliments Victorious and informs her that a nearby airbase squadron will handle Tirpitz as they begin to head home. Meanwhile, the three sirens converse amongst each other. It turns out Observer had Victorious's plane shot down to lure them into dealing with G. Purifier is getting impatient while acclimating to her new body, before being sent out on her next mission. Alright, that's Winter's Crown in the books. This one's a little weird. Feels like it could have used an extra few chapters to make it flow a bit better. It kind of bounces around between different events. But enough about that. Winter's Crown marks the debut of our favourite siren goblin, Purifier, who I'm convinced exists purely to talk shit, start fights and steal catalytic converters. Oh yeah, and the Crown Singularity. That's still there, by the way. I'm pretty sure they only get a passing mention or two until Frostfall, where they try and fail to do something about it. So that's probably going to be important in the future. It has been almost 2 years since the last Northern Parliament major. Poor Tirpitz though. The isolation is clearly taking its toll on her mental state, making her forget what class she is with that whole Bismarck sinking with the greatest service record ever built bit. Anyway, next time we return to the Sakura Empire with ink-stained steel Sakura. Until then, thank you for watching, fair winds and following seas.